Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well. So, there seems to be another fulfillment part of this vision that I uploaded in 2012, and it's the crowd of people that I saw at the southern United States border that were all moving either north or south. So, I'm going to play a quick clip of this right here.
It was a vision where he went and he stood at the southern border of the United States, and he was facing Mexico, and he stretched out his arms to the side, and his arms were straight, and his palms were facing Mexico, and his arms were like parallel to the ground. And then he kind of stood there for a while. I didn't know what that meant. And then I saw this crowd of people, and it seemed like it was in Mexico, but I'm not really sure. I just know it was like either Mexico or South America, or it was south of the United States somewhere. And there was this big crowd of people, and I feel really bad about this, you guys, because they were all moving in a certain direction, and I can't remember which direction they were moving in. I know that I knew which direction at the time I had the vision, but it was so long ago I can't remember, and I'm so sorry that I didn't write it down or tell you guys right away. But the whole crowd was moving in a certain direction. I just can't remember whether it was north or south. And he was above this crowd, and he was trying to comfort them, but they didn't see him and they weren't paying attention to him. And then
Okay, so if you want to hear more about that vision, you can go watch it. It's in this playlist, Proof the Visions Come True. So this vision was uploaded in December 2012, and we've already talked about some of the other events in that vision that have already occurred recently, such as the homeless Jesus sculpture and the balloon sculpture, which we found out is in New York City. So if you haven't watched the video on this list right here, it's linked below in the description below this video. So a lot of these 2012 visions that are listed right here are connected, as you can see, and they're playing out right now for some reason. So you can see that you can see here all the connections between these four visions right here in 2012. And there are 7 fulfillments of different parts of these visions that are also listed here. And out of those 7 fulfillments, 4 of them occurred in May and June of 2014. So, in that vision, again, Jesus was standing in the southern United States near the border and facing Mexico and South America. And he was standing in this position here, just like the Rio Christ statue. And below him was a huge crowd of people moving in one direction. I just couldn't remember if they were moving north or south. And just recently, the Department of Homeland Security declared an emergency at the Texas border. So you can see the official press release from Homeland Security right here of the statement made by Secretary Johnson. It says the level 4 condition of readiness was declared on May 12th. And May 12th was the exact date of true Passover this year. So if you're not familiar with the ancient biblical calendar appointed times, then you can check out the video on the ancient calendar, which is below in the description box. But true Passover started on the evening of the 12th, and that was when DHS declared this immigration crisis that everyone is talking about right now. And it was specifically declared for the Rio Grande Valley in Texas, which you can see is right here at the tip of Texas. And a large part of this issue surrounds the unaccompanied children that are crossing the border alone. So a lot of them are coming from Central America, they say. And this article right here explains that the surge in child migrants actually began in the fall of 2011, which the government recorded as FY 2012, which stands for fiscal year 2012, which begins in October. So fiscal year 2012 began in October of 2011. So you can see there was a small surge starting in October of 2011, but then it grew even more in 2013 and even faster now in 2014. And then you can also see from this chart that most of these child migrants are coming from Central America. So this orange right here represents those coming from Mexico. The purple right here represents those coming from El Salvador. Guatemala is this dark blue, and Honduras is the light blue. So everything other than the Mexico right here, this is all Central America. So you can see that the majority of them are coming from Central America. So it looks like this crisis right now that was declared in the Rio Grande Valley area in Texas involves predominantly Central American children coming from these areas in here. And recently, Obama requested $3.7 billion to resolve this crisis. And you've probably heard about the protests that are going on in Texas and California. Crowds blocking buses of migrants coming in from Mexico near San Diego, for example. And this happened last week. And it says in this article that this is the largest influx since 1980. And I guess the blockage of these buses encouraged others to show up in support of immigration reform. So there were protesters from both sides of the issue down there. So these are just some of the statements that people are making about it. So this crisis right now seems to be turning into a pretty big issue. And I can't help but wonder why so many of these things from these 2012 visions are occurring right now. I mean, so much of this is associated with the World Cup in Rio de Janeiro. So I wonder what that's about. And here are the 4 visions right here. Visions I uploaded in April, July, and December of 2012, and the homeless Jesus sculpture happened here in February of 2013 when the new pope was elected. But all the rest of these events, these fulfillments, occurred this year in 2014. You can see. So why? I can't help but wonder, okay, why is it happening? Most of these are happening in 2014. So first the lightning strike during the January watch period, then the announcement of the border crisis on True Passover in May, the hailstorm at the World Cup warm-up match, the giant white Jesus hot air balloon, and the lighting of the Rio Christ statue, all in June, and also all in association with the World Cup. And that's the majority of these fulfillments occurring within the past 3 months. So like I've said before, in this December vision involving the crowd at the border, I was shown a tsunami hitting the balloon sculpture, which we know is in New York City. So this whole thing seems to be a warning about that, while at the same time implying that the escape will happen at the same time, the grand rescue. And if this tsunami is caused by an asteroid impact, like it says in Revelation and Daniel, the asteroid hits the sea, destroying Babylon. And well, if it hits the Atlantic, it's going to wipe out more than just New York City. It'll affect the eastern coasts of both North and South America. And Central America is such a thin strip of land, it might be wiped out completely. So I'm wondering if that is the meaning of Jesus standing at the border facing the south with his arms outstretched and his concern for that crowd of people, because this crisis was declared in the Rio Grande Valley at the very tip of Texas, which is the closest land entry point for the majority of the migrants coming in from Central America. So I don't know about you, but this period that we're in right now is just very concerning for me, because right after that in the vision, when Jesus was standing here facing the huge crowd, right after that is when I saw the tsunami hit. I mean, I don't know when. I don't know if the timing of it is in the vision somewhere and I just didn't see it. But I just wanted to point that out. I'm going to end this video now, and I'm going to start another video explaining a timeline that I saw back in 2011. So if you're interested in seeing that, I'll put the link below. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye.